And the third is why we don't have hundreds or thousands of people in the streets fighting this issue. Back in the 70s, when you and I met, we did have. What happened?
I don't know if I'm to give the answer, but I know that in those days people were at least briefed of what the issues were. The communities understood the issues, and they came forward to challenge governments to do better on their behalf. And I'm saying since the constitutional talks, our people have fallen asleep, because I remember Trudeau telling us that yes, you have rights. Start to enact them. Don't wait for us. And Aboriginal people, I think, are sitting back thinking that their own leaders, which I said there was no powers transferred to our leadership, are advocates. They were advocates and adversaries. That's what I was as a vice president. I could talk about the things that were going bad or the things that were going right and try to promote those in our communities. But when I hear ministers who don't understand these issues that we're talking about today, aren't coming to bat for us, aren't figuring out solutions, representing the non-Aboriginal people and being almost an adversary to our communities, you wonder what's going on. Why are we putting up with this? You know, they're supposed to be representing everybody. And that's what they agreed to with the Constitution. Now, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Then let's go back to the constitutional table and let's find some leadership in our community and give them the resources they properly need to get our communities ready to take advantage of the opportunities of this country, instead of being treated as disadvantaged bystanders of the cash flow. That's what we're doing. We're sitting back and being pushed around and nobody's saying a word. Even when they're building these $33 billion worth of jails, not one word. They cut off initiatives like this that help get our people ready, not a word. I heard the two institutions say, well, this doesn't involve us. Well, I'll give you a challenge. You go check Dumont Institute today and you'll find that 70% of their training programs are in healthcare. How's that possible if we didn't open that door? Who opened that door for them? Was it so? Go to SIT and find out how many healthcare programs they have. Find out how 3,000 Aboriginal people got involved in the healthcare system. Find out why there's 800 people now convinced that they should do, they're in the health sciences because they feel that there's some hope that after their training they'll actually be able to compete for a job. So we're giving people hope by these initiatives that somehow they think that the money got cut off and we're going to walk away. We're going to go to these communities. We're going to figure this stuff out, you guys, because we keep voting for these governments and give them a free check, and then they can do what they want, including abuse our communities and leave them with the welfare and the poverty and the dependence on welfare. You look in those reports. There's 5 reserves that I found there that their annual income is $1,192 for males. $1,200 a year to live off of. And somehow it's good. Who can feed a family with that?
Okay, thank you, Wayne.
That's my short answer.
Okay, there will be coffee, and Susan has donated some muffins, so we will have a break shortly. But before we do that, I'm going to give the floor to Eber Hampton, who's going to leave us with some questions that he wants us to think about during the break.
First thing I wanted to do, my work towards representative workforce, I felt like was, what do you call it, indirect. Okay, it was education. Okay, that was my area of work, and I certainly had responsibilities in terms of the workforce. So First Nation University, Saskatchewan Indian Federated College, the most, I think, I would like to be challenged about it if I'm not right, most representative workforce in Canada, okay? Certainly among universities, okay? And the big accusation we got all the time is, oh, we can't have a segregated institution. Well, what do you call University of Regina, okay? With no First Nation people back then, okay? Now we got a few, including me, at least till the end of the month. Okay. And yeah, okay. And they called First Nation University a segregated institution. We had white faculty, we had black faculty, we had Asian faculty, we had faculty, real Indian faculty from India. We had all kinds of faculty members and all kinds of students. Okay, the most integrated institution in Canada welcomed Aboriginal people. In fact, encouraged Aboriginal people. In fact, it was our institution. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to say indirect, but I cared about representative workforce. I had to care because I was a manager, for goodness sake. I had to care about a representative workforce because the white people made me. If I didn't, they would have, okay? And I cared about our white faculty members. I cared about their experience of being on the faculty there, okay? That they didn't get discriminated against, okay? So I care about representative workforce. But what I wanted to do and what I got on the screen there is thank you to the people working directly in representative workforce. You look across North America since the advent of our friends from Europe, and we could say there'd be no women in the workforce unless women and other people work really hard to make that happen. And Aboriginal people, to the extent that we're in the workforce today, wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be there if people before us hadn't worked really hard. Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people hadn't worked for that. And I want to thank the people that have been working directly on this issue. And when I came to Saskatchewan in 1991, the first person I met that was working directly on it was this kind of loud guy, a little bit long-winded, not too bad, because he was an interesting guy named Wayne McKenzie. And when I was thinking about today, and I was trying to think, you know, how to say thank you to the representative workforce people that's been their main task here. And I was thinking, first thing I thought about was a T-shirt. And I had a bunch of different slogans I was thinking of putting on the T-shirt. You know, Saskatchewan only works when we all work. Because that's really what it's about, whether it's representative workforce or any other sector, is making Saskatchewan work, making Canada work, making society work. It just doesn't work the way it is now, okay? It limps along, okay? It's the best that we can do so far, maybe, but I think we could do better. So anyway, my first thought was T-shirts, but then I started calling around to the T-shirt places, and none of them would promise me to get them ready in time. Okay, so I started thinking, well, what can I do? What can I do? And something came to my mind. I couldn't stop it, and so I brought something. I wanted to give it to Wayne today. Okay, but it's not exactly yours. I'm just going to ask you to hold it for the cause of representative workforce in Saskatchewan, and in honor of the people that have been working at it for years and years, and in honor of the people that are going to keep on working at it. And I ask you to unwrap it, and I'm going to tell you. Okay. Oh, that's... I'm going to tell you about it because, and why it's there. Métis guy gave that to me years ago. You can see it's kind of a rugged old feather. It's been around a while, but it's a good one. Two feathers there. There's an eagle feather and a raven feather, okay? Gotta have our sense of proportion about everything. And what my elders already told me was eagle is to remind us of that vision, and the vision of a fair and a just workplace and workforce in Saskatchewan. And I wanted to thank the representative workforce workers for their fierce sense of justice.